Hola Madridistas, welcome to our preview for our visit to the Mestalla. It's going to be a fiery and dramatic game for sure, with all the right ingredients just thrown in. Starting with the referee, Gil Manzano. It's gonna be a firecracker of a game. Vinny Junior's first return to the stadium after what transpired last season. Even Netflix wanted to grab a hold of it, but then yeah, we'll talk about all of that and more. But yeah, this episode is sponsored by Manscaped, the pioneers of male grooming, with a wide array of grooming products for your face, all the way to your balls. So go check out manscaped.com for 20% off and free shipping if you use the code LBR20 at checkout. That's code LBR20 at manscaped.com. With that out of the way, man, we have a full house for this preview. Farouk is finally back in the starting lineup after what feels
Yeah.
like an eternity. Like it's been an absolute eternity, man. We've been missing you so much. Farouk is also, Ashik is also in the chat. He's like, Farouk is back, baby. Yeah, I just can't hide the
Definitely, bro.
excitement
Like
from my voice, man.
it's
It's been so long.
yeah, it's been so long, man. It's been, a long time no see, and honestly, I'm, so glad to be back, refreshed. I recharged the battery. I don't actually I honestly like I actually think of going to Nigeria as a burden rather than, going to recharge your battery. But anyways, it's fair game, like you go there, you do your shit and you come back. Well, yeah, we're back, and honestly, I did, miss this, and I miss you guys, and I miss, the people in the comment as well. Like, I'm really pumped, to get going. And yeah, hopefully, we have a good pod ahead. I mean, of course, I'm here, so it's gonna be good. So like, everyone can just chill.
Absolutely. Mo, usually, like, I know I don't give such an enthusiastic intro when you are on, but yeah, man, I'm totally appreciative that you're also here on the podcast.
No, and I'm used to it. Once you're in the greatness of Farouk, you kind of get used to being second fiddle. So
No way, no way. And yeah, last but not the least, we have Gaya, who's a Valencia fan from Nigeria. He was here for our preview this season. So yeah, welcome back again, man. How's it going? How's it been going? How's
Yeah,
life as a Valencia fan?
yeah, it has been a roller coaster to be very honest. We might qualify for Europe this season, but yeah, that's that. It's a pleasure to be here once again.
Absolutely, man. So yeah, let's kick off this
I
pod.
mean,
Oh, yeah.
before you start, Jacob, I'm sorry for interrupting you, but guy, I have to ask you, like, how does a guy in Nigeria decide to support Valencia, and like, what befell you to choose this club?
I think I answered this question the first time I was here. It's kind of just it's an identity for me. Being a Valencia fan, it's an identity. I fell in love with the club long before the whole league trying to take the club down and all of that. And yeah, I can't just seem to leave. I enjoy being a Valencia fan. I enjoy the roller coasters. I enjoy the highs. I real the lows, but then that's part of being a fan, isn't it?
Definitely.
Yeah, man, we have to be happy. At least he's not a Man United fan. So yeah, guys, I guess we can kick things off by going towards the elephant in the room. Let's hear from you, Gaia. Like, why the hot topic is why is Netflix not being granted access to actually shoot in your stadium? Why is there no documentary episode? And then why doesn't Hugo Duro want to interview and whatnot?
I think the Netflix issue is the fact that the Valencia fans basically they don't want to be labeled racists. They feel like it's a whole campaign against them to be called racist and be part of a whole Vinicius thing. I'll go as far and say they dislike Vinicius because they labeled the whole club, the fans themselves racists. And like Gaia said during the week, Valencia has expelled all three or four fans that did the act, and it ends there. There's nothing else to be done. The fans should be respected. From the club's view, from the players' view, the fans should be respected. And as Goduro said in his interview here, Vinicius is going to come. It's going to be a game of football. It's going to be good at. He's going to receive jeers and all of that. But then it's not going to be racially abused. Yeah, nobody has any agenda against him. It's just going to be a plain game of football, ups and downs. Yeah, and Valencia looking for the win.
Absolutely. So yeah, man, like I just hope, what the players
Jacob, I
saying.
just like to chime in and say something. I think you said that Ugaduro doesn't want to give an interview, but it is like that's not the situation. Ugaduro wanted to give the interview, but Valencia is the ones who blocked that.
Oh
So
wow.
I mean, I wouldn't blame the player, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, like I would imagine, like it's a lot of fun actually getting onto Netflix and getting interviewed and whatnot. So that
I
was a
mean,
bit strange.
Duro also like kind of spent some time at Real Madrid, and he overlapped with Vinny, so I'm pretty sure there's a relationship there. So you definitely want to be involved in it. But then after everything that happened the last time around, Valencia met Real Madrid, it's kind of understandable that the club does not really want to get themselves involved. But I kind of find it funny when Super Deporte, the newspaper in Valencia, the kind of article they're printing out against Vinicius, when they do that, and then they on the other hand they turn around and say we don't really want to be involved because we don't want our club to be misrepresented. But then the fans, especially the ultras that are related to Peter Lim, who are friendly with him, Yomos, we all know what they have been doing for the last past year, and Super Deporte, the newspaper of Valencia, hasn't been behind. So for me personally, I don't really know what to expect in this game. I'm kind of afraid for the worst, but I hope for the best.
Yeah, the bad part was
No,
like
I agree. Sorry, no, sorry for interjecting, Jacob. Like I was just gonna say, like that's the thing. Like with we all saw the game. What happened there, and although Gaya was mentioning the fact that 3-4 people have been expelled and stuff like that. Like we know it's not 3-4 people, and it's not about the 3-4 people or lack thereof. It's about the statements that were coming out after the game from the officials of Valencia, what they were saying and how they were portraying the whole story. You understand? So I kind of feel like this is just the thing with them. I feel like it's gonna be a really, really, like temperamental game. I don't know if Vini will get sent over stuff like that because I don't know if he has that matureness in him to to maintain calm and what is not. But I really do hope the game doesn't get ugly again. But I do definitely know that one thing for sure is that we shouldn't expect Valencia to come out and like allow people like with Netflix to come and do stuff and shit like that. Like I feel like if there is no campaign against them, like if you watch the game, you know what happened. You saw what happened. But like they just try to paint it in a different story, and it's like like the whole thing with in Spain, like it's been there. Dani Alves, Neymar, Ronaldinho, Samuel Eto'o. Like it's not something that's happening today, or it's it's the first time. It's just like for the first time, like Vini's like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna call them out on this. So I kind of feel like it's gonna be really interesting to see what happens tomorrow. But I really do hope like Vini comes out of that. I mean, best case scenario, let him get a red card. But like I mean, I feel that it can be worse than a red card, and already considering the fact that we already have a lot of players missing, like adding Vinicius to that list again will be really, really really, really dangerous for us.
And just to add on top of that, I did see like one of the Valencia media outlets, I think, or like one of the talk shows. They had a despicable photo of Vinicius when they were talking about him, and along with on top of all of that, it's just so sad that some of the media outlets are going ahead with this, and it's so normalized in Spain.
I mean, that's what I was talking about. Super Deporte and everything, because Super Deporte had a had a like they've had a couple of covers. I kind of referenced it in the last time we did a preview as well, where they had a like I think it's the Yomos guys from Valencia. I don't know if you guys have heard about it, but there's an ultra group that is aligned with Peter Lim, and I guess that's the only Valencia fan group that's actually aligned with him, because the rest of them kind of oppose him, and that group kind of gets a lot of leeway because because obviously they want. They have good relationship with Peter Lim, so they have this special chant prepared for Vinicius that was on the cover of Super Deporte, and I remember there was like a special. I don't know if it was immediately in the aftermath of the incident or it was like recently, but there was a cover of Vinicius with comparing him to calling him a liar or something and having like some racist imagery on top of it. And then there's also the fact that there was an article on Super Deporte recently on their website where they were kind of like trying to portray that Vinicius is the one who's creating all of this situation around him, not like like they are almost like kind of like forced to do it because of the way Vinicius is acting. So that is the narrative they have created, and the thing is like they are creating this narrative because they have people to sell it to. And the thing, like, I mean, we don't really want to say that all of Valencia is racist or all Valencia fans are racist, but there's a significant portion of it, and the club isn't doing anything about it. Suspending like 2 or 3 people isn't where the buck stops. We have seen what has happened with Atleti and Vinicius. Even today, there was a news about Atleti, friend the Atleti Ultras, kind of abusing racist, throwing racist chants towards a small girl who was wearing a Vinicius jersey. So this is something that Spain as a country itself has to sort out. It isn't just about football; it's like much larger than that. So I kind in that context, when you think about what Ugadura said, there will be hostility, but it will be at the level of football. You think it's like wildly optimistic, but I hope for the best.
We have to wait and see, man. But Gaya, like I heard that the Valencia fans even have prepared a chant for Vinicius. Have you actually learned the chant as well?
No, no, no. I haven't learned the chant. My Spanish is a bit tricky. But yeah, I think it's basically just calling him a liar or labeling the whole fan base. That's good. Although I don't agree, I feel like once a certain set of people, yeah, it's normal for other fans to actually label.
Is it just me or
So I
is
feel
Gaya
like yeah,
breaking up in between?
It's for me.
right?
It's my on my
It's
end
like
also.
the outward environment.
Yeah, man. Can you say that again?
What did you say?
You were just breaking up a bit before.
Oh, okay. I was like, listen, it's just the fan base labeling Vinicius a liar, and because he labeled the whole fan base, it so said the whole stadium chanted racist chants at him. So like that's just like the major grudge with Vinicius. But I feel like
Yeah, he froze for me as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
But I kind of get the point he's making. The I kind of like explained the chant like the last time we were on. It kind of went like there's this guy who always keeps crying, and he's a Real Madrid player. Blah blah blah. He thinks we insult him because of his color or something, but it's only because he's bad or something. For me personally, everything that's happened is we kind of know where that's coming from. So I personally don't like it a lot. But yeah, man. I kind of understand when Valencia fans say we're not all racist because obviously they are not, but there's then the club has to act against it, and so far they haven't done like what I find to be adequate.
Yeah, man. But we have to wait and see. Either way, no matter what, Netflix is not going to be there, but the cameras are going to be there. We are still going to hear from the fans, on the TV and the live.
I
So yeah.
mean, the only thing that denied Netflix is the accreditation. Netflix could still buy tickets and send their cameras, and they could have they could capture stuff with their phone. So it doesn't really stop anything.
I kind of feel like Jacob is on like, I don't know if he's sponsored by Netflix or something. Like he just has to keep mentioning them, to kind of bring attention to them, like some shit like that.
I mean, if we get Netflix after Manscaped, who's complaining?
Yeah, man. But yeah, are you guys looking forward to the Vinicius documentary or whatnot?
I mean, it's a couple of years away, so let's see what happens.
All right. But less said about this, the better. Hopefully, there's a stop to all of this. At least some measures are taken place because all eyes are going to be on them from the whole league, maybe from even the whole of Europe, from Brazil as well. So hopefully they get their shit together and we see an actual competitive game. But yeah, man, last time, Gaya, when we were on the podcast, we were discussing, man, it's going to be a tight game. We're going to be fighting tooth and nail after what happened. But that wasn't really the case after the first leg. Like, what went wrong for you guys? It was just a series of comical errors at the back, right? Gaya, I mean, I was just asking you, like, can you walk us through, what happened in the first leg? In the first fixture in La Liga. Oh,
I remember coming on here and shading Caval only for him to go on and score at the Bernabeu. That was like really a really good experience for me. But yeah, I think Madrid is coming to Mestalla and it's going to be tough, just like the last game, and it's going to be like a fiery atmosphere, especially with the whole Vinicius fiasco. And yeah, so I feel like the Valencia Valencia fans themselves feels like they have a point to prove to give a positive view of what the Valencia fans are. So I think like Mestalla is going to go packed up, everybody behind the players, and the players too. Valencia is competing for Europe this season. So defeating Madrid will be a statement win, and I feel like you're coming to the star. I mean, in the last 3, 4 seasons, the 2 wins over Madrid and Mestalla. So it's something that can definitely happen this season. I think Bellingham is injured. Vinicius might be restricted because
Yeah, I mean, we lost a guy over there, but yeah, you're saying Vinicius is gonna be restricted. I mean, you can't restrict Vinicius, man. That's just not doable. The best right backs in the world have tried it, but it just doesn't happen.
in the first leg at the Carabao, yeah. I mean, I Mestalla, it was last season. It was restricted.
Hmm.
It was restricted. I think that for the year. So I feel like yeah, that can happen again. So flash out.
I don't know, man. Farouk, what do you think about this, man? Like, do you think Vinicius was restricted or Vinicius was restricting himself by, being obviously distracted
I
for the
feel
right
like
reasons?
considering the situation, I mean, if this is the kind of restriction you're talking about, then I mean, that just goes to show that okay, it's gonna be another disgusting evening then with people chanting, racial insults at him. That's the only restriction that happened. And the point is, as long as that's the thing, like Vini is gonna do his thing. And part of the thing he does is like he doesn't know how to control himself. And I think rightly so, like when you're being, insulted by 30, 40 or 1,000 people, okay, maybe that's an exaggeration. Anyways, like when you're being racially abused by, a significant portion of the stadium, I feel like, definitely you're gonna be in a different mental space. So I don't think Vianney was restricted, but as Jacob said, like, it was just, a mental restriction. So except if that's, the tactic that Valencia wants to adopt again.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm saying. I'm it was very obvious that from the first minute, everyone was against Vinicius, even without any previous history. They already had Italian a provocative football player, and everybody seems to attack him. I think it's general in every single stadium in Spain. Every single fan base tends to like Vinicius because he has a tag provocative player on him right now. So I feel like if he's in the right mental space, if he can like he's mature enough to like go against it here, would have a very great game. But then if he lets it affect him, obviously he's going to have a poor game.
Yeah, man. Let's see. Hopefully, like I know like the whole fan base, Real Madrid fan base as well. Like we know Vinicius has some troubles when he goes to the away games. He gets carried away. But yeah, all reports are that he's gonna be totally turned down in this game, and absolutely gun for it and no distractions. But yeah, let's see how it transpires. Um, I just wanted to talk about, before we discuss the lineups for Valencia and whatnot, I just wanted to discuss how are your youngsters doing? Because last time when we did the podcast preview earlier on the season, Pepele was actually tearing it up in the league. He was scoring goals. He was being an absolute menace. Is he still as good as in the start of the season?
Yeah, definitely. And Pepelu is still pulling the strings. He's arguably Valencia's best player currently, and I feel like with Ugulaimon recovered, he has given him more freedom to like venture up the football pitch. Although Aviguera has seen like a dip in form, but yeah, I think Pepe is the best player currently. He's Valencia's best player. He picks up the pieces, aerially, duel on the defensively, going on set pieces.
All right. Looks like we lost him again. But yeah, man, like Javi,
Midfield.
earlier on in the season, just before you guys faced, I think it was against Atletico, that Javi Guerra scored that
Yeah,
golazo. And how come he lost his place
yeah,
in
the
the
goals
lineup?
against
Is it
Atletico
because you guys
Madrid.
switched up formations? I know you guys like to play with two strikers now.
Yeah, with from ever since Barra came in, we've always liked to play with Guerra was playing as a second striker outside. But since then, Roman Real has picked up form. Ugumamon came into the team against Barca when Guerra was suspended, and he scored that wonder goal against Barca. And ever since then, Ugumamon and he has been a focal point in the double pivot with Pepelu. Yeah, and so yes, ever since then, Ugumamon Valencia hasn't really has lost like 1 or 2 games ever since Lamont started. Has been a regular starter in the team. So yes, you don't let good form like that. Yeah, Abigail. I believe having to come into the time.
And I think I got half of that, but more. Like, do you have like more insight on this regarding how
Valencia.
it, yeah, Valencia and the formation they
No,
play?
I mean, Valencia is like one of the teams in La Liga I kind of hate a lot, so I don't really
You
follow
never
them.
watched them? Oh man.
No. It's like I just know a little bit about them in the fact that they were having a decent season. They kind of have a shot at like European spots because of how everything around them is going. Because I think Sociedad have been pretty bad, and like some of the teams haven't really been in top form. So they have a shot at the European spots. But besides that, I wouldn't really know much about them. But yeah, for me, the thing is like Pepe Lu has been their best player. But the funny thing is like he kind of signed a 9-year contract with Levante before making the move to Valencia. And like for people who don't know, Valencia and Levante are like seated rivals. So there's a huge derby between them, and kind of Pepe Lu wanted to stay at Levante long term, but because of some financial issues, he had to move, and Valencia was the team that signed him, luckily for them. So yeah, that's basically all my knowledge about Valencia, apart from the fact that they Duro has been like good for them, and they signed Peter Federico, so that's somebody I'm excited to see if he even gets a chance, because I was kind of looking at their last previous games and I saw like he got a few minutes as substitute in one of the games. So that's a player that I'm like slightly excited about. Beyond that, yeah, Javi Guerra, Diego Lopez, like these guys, they have come in and done it. They did well even last season. So for me, I don't know what they're going to start with, but Guy was saying, Guillamon, if I understood him correctly, he said Guillamon came in, and ever since then, Javi Guerra hasn't had much of he hasn't had a regular run. So for me, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And Mestalla away, for Real Madrid has always been a hostile ground, irrespective of what is happening with Vinicius right now. I believe it was a transfer of Mijatovic who kind of ignited this rivalry. Although Valencia in the past were Spain's third biggest team. I think it's the third biggest city in Spain. So there always is a rivalry between them, and given the fact that I think before Atleti, they were the last club not named Madrid or Barcelona to win the La Liga title. So they were a big club, but right now they are in ruins. And Madrid away have always had problems with them because how their fans are. It's a hostile environment, and add the Vinny ingredient to it, and it becomes even more hostile.
Absolutely. Like I wouldn't say like they're in total shambles like in the last season, especially. Like Sevilla are in shambles right now, but then Valencia, I feel like they're slowly on the climb up. Definitely.
No, and the thing about Valencia is the fact it's down to the ownership of Peter Lim, right? As soon as they get a little bit of hope he yanks it. So that's even worse, being a fan, because you have this hope that club is going to get better, but then you don't really know what your owner is going to do. It was kind of funny seeing Gabriel move from Valencia to Atleti because they didn't really want to extend his contract, and they were worried if he played too much, that might trigger an extra year in his contract. So they decided to just cancel his contract and let him go for free. So when you have a club and an ownership doing stuff like that, you kind of as a fan, you don't really like it. So for me, Sevilla, the situation, the ownership, they might want to improve, but from Valencia's, and that they're not gonna let the club improve, because we saw that they had good dealings, good time with Marcelino. They fired him. Even Ruben Baraja, he's doing a good job at Valencia, but every time he's getting the club up, they come out and they try to, I don't know how to put it. Maybe they hit him with the stick and hamstring him themselves. So being a Valencia fan is like a tragedy right now. So that's why I was kind of surprised. Somebody in Nigeria is supporting Valencia all the way. So
Yeah, man, Gaya, I
I
know
think
you
for
wanted
me,
to interrupt more.
the
Okay, so go ahead.
yeah, the Gabriel Polisa thing is understandable because Polisa doesn't have much to give, and is literally like the highest paid player that usually is there on team. So yes, it was understandable to leave Polisa.
Yeah, I mean, I think what Gaya said
Now
was,
the Akabi is back, and
man, you are breaking up.
sorry, can you hear me?
Uh, I can hear you now. Let's try one thing, man. Like,
Okay.
maybe turn off your video and then speak. Maybe that helps.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Let's try that.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, much better. Go ahead, man.
Is this better? Okay. Yeah, the Gabriel Poliso thing is understandable because he was about to finish his contract, but there was a renewal clause on it. And Valencia
Yeah, I think you broke away again. I can't hear you.
Yeah.
the team has to save on wage bills and all of that. But then, yeah, it was
Yeah, I mean, uh, Gaya, I mean, maybe you can restart your router or something, man, like because you're absolutely breaking up. But yeah, I think I heard what you said. You're basically saying Gabriel Paulus, like, I mean, he wasn't like worth renewing or anything. Like, it's kind of better to let him go on free or something. Oh man, but yeah. Farooq, how about you, man? Like, have you been able to catch glimpses of Valencia at least?
Unfortunately, anything that's not the white color of Real Madrid in Spain doesn't entice me.
Oh wow.
I mean, okay, I've seen Girona a couple of times, just to be honest, but yeah, I'm honestly no, I've never been a fan of of the Spanish league as a whole. Honestly, I mean, it's just we were lucky, and fortunate enough to develop an affection for Real Madrid. Otherwise, I would not even know that a league such as La Liga even exists in the world. But yeah, it's fair game. But yeah, as Mo just rightly pointed, like one thing we always know about Valencia is even since, back in the day, it's always been a very, very tricky fixture, going to the Mestalla. Like, uh, we've always had, very, very interesting games and very, nervy and sometimes even exciting games, at the Mestalla. And we hope to see more of the same. But yeah, with the whole thing, that Mo just pointing out with the Vinicius thing and all that, it's not looking that bright, on one side, especially with the fans, preparing special chants and stuff like that. So, yeah, I just hope, like that we can get, get through the game unscathed, at least, one way or another, both physically and mentally and, point wise as well.
Absolutely.
But actually, you were asking about the youngsters. So I was gonna ask you guys, like, what's up with Article? Like, I was reading something I think earlier this morning, and like they were like there is a sort of tension between Arda and the coach and staff. I don't know if it's true or like if it's just fabricated nonsense.
I don't know, man. Are you like reading up Turkish media? Because I didn't see it.
No, I mean, of course, I mean, come on, Turks are crazy. Like, if it's Turkish media, they would be like, yeah, Carlo Ancelotti is not putting him because, he has a bias against the rise of the Turkish Empire and shit like that. That's what's going to be. But I know that's. No, but actually, they were like.
Where did you read it?
It was on the Athletic earlier this morning, right? So I guess.
Okay, Athletic. I think it was Guillermo, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it was exactly. It was the right guy.
Yeah, I think it was like they were talking about a couple of players not being on good, not having a good relationship with the coaching staff right now. But it's kind of understandable, he's not getting shot like after what happened.
But I mean, come on, like he's 18, so like I mean, I can understand Luka Modric's case, of course, definitely, because like this is someone who is like at the end of it all. But I mean, for Arda, I kind of feel like it's. I mean, as you always say, more like we didn't sign him to play for Real Madrid in 2024. We signed him to play for Real Madrid for a decade. So I feel like considering how everything's panned out, like he's had 3 injuries, if I'm not mistaken.
That's a perspective of mine, right? I'm a fan. I'm not Arda Güler, but you're Arda Güler. Picture this, right? When the season starts, before you have an injury, there's talk about you being ahead of Brahim Diaz. There's talk about you playing in the in a false 9 role when Bellingham is not there, right? And then suddenly you come back from injury after 6 months. Okay, you get 45 minutes, but after that you're completely frozen out, right? There's an opportunity for you to play, and then suddenly the coach asks you to go and warm up. When you come back, he says, okay, you're not gonna go on because Modric has scored a goal now. So add to that he's 18, right? So he's 18, 19, and that was his birthday. So I kind of understand why he would be pissed, but I don't really blame Ancelotti either, because I kind of understand why Ancelotti was making those decisions. Like when we did the preview for the game, where me and Jacob, we were talking about it, and we said that probably he could call Alvaro because Joselu was injured. And even when we were struggling, we hadn't scored a goal, I was kind of hoping that he would put Alvaro instead of Arda Güler, because for me personally, the thing is like Arda Güler is kind of a player who doesn't really make impact as from a substitution, right? If you have like 10 minutes for game to go, he doesn't bring the verticality, he doesn't bring the intensity. What he brings is magic and trickery, right? So those kind of players make more of an impact from the start than if you kind of play them for 10 minutes, you wouldn't really see their impact. So for me, in that situation, I would have brought in Alvaro as well. So for me, I don't really blame Ancelotti for the decisions he took, but I kind of understand the perspective of Arda as well, because I think he, at this stage especially, he needs more game time. For me, when we signed him, I said this, I thought he should have gone on loan instead of staying at Madrid, but he stayed at Madrid. He decided to back himself, and right now he has to do that. I mean, from February until the end of the season, we're going to play a lot of games. If we, especially if we do well in the Champions League and go deeper into the, go deeper into the tournament. So they're going to be games. I just hope he keeps his patience, and waits for his chance, like Brahim did. Once Brahim got his chance, he kind of showed himself, and I hope Arda does the same.
Yeah, very valid points, honestly. But yeah, I just kind of felt like, considering the fact that, like Arda Güler is moving from Fenerbahce to be arguably the biggest, club and biggest stadium in the world. I kind of felt like, the impatience there is something that's, I feel like it's something that I wouldn't expect. Like, I feel like I think it's just like taking the opportunity you have for granted, in my opinion. Like, honestly, because I always say this, like, when we go back,
I think there's a little innocence when it comes to Arda Güler, because this kid is like, you remember what his presentation was like, right? Even before his name was called, he was like, he went and stood beside like Florentino. So I kind of think there's a little bit of, let's say, he lacks a little bit of. I don't want to say he lacks maturity. What I want to say, there's a little bit of that youthful exuberance where he is like over eager to play and make a name for himself. So I kind of understand where he's coming from, but at the end of the day, he has to stay patient. And I think he has kind of like a good, let's say, like good people behind him, because he has a good relationship with mother, father, and everything. So I kind of hope that those people can rein him in, and not. I hope the pressure of Madrid doesn't get too much to him and eats him up, because we've seen this before. Playing for Madrid isn't just being about good. You can be a good player and then still struggle because of the enormity of the club. And you said that arguably Real Madrid is the biggest club in the world. I would just like to correct you there. It's not arguably; it is the biggest club in the world. And the pressure here is immense. I mean, I see Barcelona fans going around and saying, "Oh, we are the biggest club in the world." So I mean, they don't really have a basis for that. But we're Real Madrid fans. We shouldn't be saying arguably.
Definitely, man.
Well, that's a very definitive point. But also, I always like to point out to the fact that also, like, in the past you mentioned about the fact that you followed Arda for a while. Like, Arda actually hasn't played proper football for the whole full season in his career before. He came and, like, he played, I think, like around 7 to 8 months for Fenerbahce as being like a proper starter. Before that he was just in and out of the team, coming in, making impact and stuff like that. So I kind of feel like expecting to make from that jump to all of a sudden, being a contender at Real Madrid, I feel like it's a significant jump that, it's not going to happen. And let's not forget, like, even with Vinicius Jr., like, everything had to fall in place. If Eden Hazard hadn't, been the burger that he was, the development of Vinicius would have not been this, rapid as well. So that's the thing,
Farouk, I totally understand that. I agree with the points you're making, because I think Arda needs to show some patience, and that's basically what you're saying. So for me as well, I 100% agree with that. But the thing is, like, you also have to factor in the fact that this is a 19-year-old kid who was always told in his life that he's going to be the best in the world. So there is going to be an over eagerness to play.
But yeah, anyways, man, I do hope it's just media bullshit and all that, and I hope, like, everything is calm at the White House.
I mean, if there's one guy you would trust to handle all of these issues, because I think in the same Athletic article there was also rumors about Nacho not being happy. There's always there were reports about Kepa and stuff. So if there's one guy in the world who I expect to, like, keep a handle on this thing, is Ancelotti. So in this situation, we have the best manager who can handle these things. I'm just lucky we don't have Erik ten Hag going out in the media, like, throwing his players on the window.
I mean,
or maybe Thomas Tuchel.
Yeah, that was the name I was gonna throw in, actually. I think Thomas Tuchel is actually also a coach that you wanna be wary of in this kind of situations. But anyway, yeah, like, I mean, it is what it is. Like, that's you gain something and lose something. But yeah, we are lucky with Carlo, like, right now, that it's working, and also, like, he's a good manager. But yeah, I mean, till it stops working, anyways.
Yeah, if it stops working, all of us will be on his throat. So, I mean, we're Real Madrid fans. We are reactionary, and that is what we are famous for it, and we're proud to be it.
And me, as the very good and calm friend, I will not tell you that I told you so before, but it's cool.
Yeah, man, Farouk, we missed you. Huh? We missed your I told you ness.
Yeah. But actually, I saw the game at the weekend against Sevilla as well, and like that's really like Ramos. Obviously, like Ramos rolled back the years, but I kind of feel that the lack of clear-cut chances is also quite interesting. Honestly, I don't know because how many? I think we had just one chance. I think that was the Rodrigo one. I can't recall. Maybe.
Man,
Yeah, for me as
Chouameni
well,
had a chance. Valverde had a really good chance.
for me personally,
Ah,
I kind of felt that we were missing one player in the attack. The Brahim was like completely separate on a different island, and Vinicius and Rodrigo were playing in themselves. I was kind of reading an analysis from somebody I respect and on Twitter, and they were saying that we kind of tried to replicate what we used to do with Benzema, Rodrigo, and Vinicius, and instead of Benzema, we had Ferland Mendy. So you know what kind of results we're getting when you replace Benzema with Ferland Mendy. So like I said it that day in the group chat, and I stand by it. I think we missed a player in the attack. Brahim, you can't expect better from him, but for whatever reason, his combination with Rodrigo and Vinicius doesn't seem to be gelling at this point. I hope it gets better. I mean, I've doubted Brahim before, and he's proven me wrong. So I hope he does this as well. He overcomes this barrier, and he shows his true quality in these situations as well.
but more like what profile of player are you looking like? Are you thinking about like we're missing? Like, do you think it's the whole pivot kind thing that discussions we had in the past about the proper nine not being there and all that? Or like you just feel like like there's a different profile. Like for example, like Bellingham is a different profile, Mbappe is a different profile, and then like you have people like Erling Haaland or Lewandowski who are different profiles as well. So I don't know, like what kind of profile do you think is missing?
I think that the emphasis on Real Madrid when they play right now is like on combination play around the box. When Bellingham is playing like right now, he's grown into that role and he's able to combine well with Rodrigo and Vinicius. In the game against Valencia, I think what we were missing was a guy who could combine with Vinicius and Rodrigo and open up those chances. I said like the idea was to have. If he had Benzema in the situation, spaces would open up because Benzema knows how to hold the ball and make that pass. But when you try to do it with Ferland Mendy, obviously you're not going to get the best results. But I think the hope and desire is that Brahim does that. But we've seen it like Brahim centrally tends to struggle a little bit. So I think the idea was to put him on the right and hope Rodrigo does it. But Rodrigo, I think we kind of keep shuffling him all the way around. Sometimes he's playing as a striker, sometimes he's playing as a left winger, sometimes playing a right winger. So it is kind of like it doesn't really come naturally if you ask him to do it at the drop of a hat. So for me personally, I think as long as Brahim and Rodrigo can figure out the connection issues, like they can learn to play together, work out how to get the best out of both on the pitch when they're on the pitch together. I think it will be fine. But then, yeah, if you ask me which profile we were missing, I mean, if we had Mbappe on the field against Sevilla, I'm pretty sure it would have been a good game, because Mbappe is also good at combination plays.
Yes. Now let's ask the question, Jacob. Since I've been away, I mean, I don't know, like I make it sound like going to Nigeria is like going outside of civilization. Actually, it's not honestly. So I'm just exaggerating bullshit. Anyways, like there's actually internet and light and everything. You can watch the games. I just chose not to. Anyways, Jacob, like, can you tell like what's the latest on Kylian Mbappe? And like, is he actually finally coming? Like, are we gonna do the episode of the episode? Like we always do like 3 episodes every summer. Like not 3, actually, like 5. That we talk about the possible comment and then we talk about the not possible comment and the possible comment and the not possible comment.
Yeah, on top of that,
So
we
what's
need
the
to have
situation now? Like,
tactical
give me the gist.
tactical breakdowns of Mbappe, and at least this summer, I think it'll be at least 7 or 8 episodes. But yeah, man, it's hard to say with Mbappe for me. But I'm very optimistic. Mo knows this. I already consider him as a Real Madrid player. But Mo, do you have any news from him from his dinner with the Emir and with Emmanuel Macron?
Yeah, when the news broke that the Emir of Qatar and Macron were going to meet him at the Champs Elysees, I think everybody was like, all of Real Madrid had a collective heart attack. But that's kind of it kind of is funny and it kind of is sad as well, because this is what football in Europe has gone down to, where players are being invited to dinners, and instead of thinking, oh, what a glorious honor it is for him, we are thinking, oh man, this guy is going to be given a lot of prize to stay on at PSG. This is what it is. This is modern football. But from what at least Fabrizio, he keeps on saying that he's nothing of that sort is there. And I remember reading, I think I caught it this morning, where Macron said that he's given 7 years to PSG, so we can't really ask for more. So I am optimistic that he comes to Madrid. For me personally, I haven't still heard a confirmation that he has signed a contract with Real Madrid. There's always been rumors that there's a verbal thing, but verbal thing doesn't really mean anything.
Especially with
For
Mbappe.
me, the sticking point is still, I think, image rights. As soon as they get resolved, we'll know. I think the confirmation about him leaving PSG wouldn't come until the point where both PSG and Real Madrid cannot meet in the Champions League. So once that point is passed, I think that is when we'll get the confirmation that he's leaving PSG. And after that, we'll see. When the confirmation that he's joining Real Madrid is not going to come until June or July. So, don't get your hopes up too much.
Man, I already got my hopes up, like especially when you read stuff like Mbappe is trying to look for the same locality as Vinicius, back.
I've heard Mbappe already has a house in Madrid. So
okay.
His mother is in Madrid, but it's not because of that. There's some other reason.
I see.
Interesting. Okay.
I mean, Mbappe is also posting pictures from Barcelona, so
Yeah.
And there was this thing yesterday where they said that Mbappe's agent, Haaland's agent, Rafaela Piamenta, she met with Laporta and everyone, Deco and all those things. And right now, when you guys were talking with actually something popped up on my screen that kind of made me laugh. But it said that Barcelona, they're about to make a historic decision. The club is set to terminate its contract with Nike and create a Barca's own brand of manufacturing jerseys. So this will mean the club will sponsor itself and keep 100% of the profits.
Wow.
So there's that as well.
So they're gonna have like different stores all over the world.
I think they're bringing the manufacturing process in-house. So I don't really know how they're gonna sell the logistics of it. I'm not sure, but yeah, let's see what happens. It's Barcelona, it's Laporta. There's gonna be some comedy there. So.
I just hope this is true, man. This is funnier than the Spotify subscription for lifetime for players and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, the point is we laugh at this thing, but actually I kind of feel like people need to start paying, like both United and Barcelona needs to pay. Like we saw in Italy, like Inter Milan, AC Milan, they paid the prices, The point is United and Barcelona cannot keep getting away with bullshit like this, honestly. Like, it's just unfair, like, honestly. Like, what the hell, man? Come on. Like, you shouldn't be, like, pulling levers and levers and then having meetings with arguably, the most valuable player. Okay, maybe Mbappe is the most valuable player. Like, the second one is Haaland. You shouldn't be having discussions about Haaland when basically, like, your horseshit and shit like that. It's crazy, man, honestly. It's really, really crazy. But yeah, man,
Farouk, I think you need to keep something in mind. Barcelona and Real Madrid are inherently political. There was a like popular personality, I forget his name, in Spain, who just said a couple of days ago, the Real Madrid president is known more around the world. He's more famous compared to even the Prime Minister of Spain. So these jobs are like incredibly powerful. There's a lot of soft power that comes with it. So Laporta wants to keep his job. Like, I mean, there's no two ways about it. So there's always going to be all these smoke screens about Haaland. And if you remember, when he ran for election, he was hugging a mannequin of Messi. So, I mean, I don't expect this sort of stuff from Laporta. And it's going to keep happening. And I think even the Haaland entourage, they want to do these things because they also want to keep the pressure on Madrid, Like, if you want to sign Haaland, you have to be careful. You cannot just take us for granted. Because we saw what happened with Haaland in 2022, where he was on the market, but Madrid kind of prioritized Mbappe. Right now, Madrid is getting Mbappe. So, Sam Lee confirmed this, I think, in a couple of days back, where he said Haaland desires to play for Real Madrid. And there is a clause, like, it's a little bit above 100 million, but it's not that high. So it is an affordable release clause in his contract. So I think there's a desire from Madrid's end as well. Probably 2025, something could happen with Haaland. But I don't really know how all these players are going to fit. I'm pretty sure somebody's going to leave.
Yes, of course, definitely. Someone has to leave. Like, a difficult decision has to be made. But, like, the point is, if a machine like Haaland is on the market, man, bro, you destroy the house, remove the foundations, burn it to the ground, pour petrol, add the nuclear bomb, and start it from scratch, bro. It's just too good, man.
The wildest rumor I read was the fact that Madrid could contemplate bringing Haaland this summer. So
this summer, wow.
That was also this rumor. I'm like, but it doesn't seem realistic. But let's see.
Yeah, I mean, this summer we have just one goal. Let's not fumble the whole Comunicado official with Kylian Mbappe. Otherwise, man, like, there is just no point anymore. I mean, until I also see this presentation, I also will not believe any jack shit, because I feel like Mbappe, if he ends up at Newcastle, I will not be surprised, honestly, after all the bullshit that the man has pulled with us.
I mean, I wouldn't put it. I wouldn't go that far and say Newcastle, but yeah, man, City like is always around, especially if they risk losing Haaland. But for me, I think apart from Mbappe, there's also the specter of the fact that Alphonso Davies looks a lot likelier this summer. There's already briefings from Bayern in their media that Alphonso Davies is greedy. He's asking for 20 million euros to stay on at Bayern and all those reports. So it kind of feels like Alphonso is headed to Madrid.
Yeah, that'd be a good signing actually. Although like this season his form has been down, but that's the whole story of the whole Bayern Munich team. It's just Harry Kane and nobody else basically. Okay, Manuel has been good as well, but it's just been that's the story. Like it's Hollywood FC again all over there. But yeah, honestly, like Alphonso Davies is gonna be a huge bro.
I mean, I would say this: if instead of Mendy we had Davies playing the Benzema role, things might have been a little bit better. So I kind of have hope for it. But yeah, I mean, we have to.
I'm gonna go now. Since you reference Benzema, I'm gonna reference Benzema again. One of them is a F1 and one of them is a go-kart. So do what you want with that.
No, I mean the thing is, like, if we had a better left back, I mean, things might have been a little bit better, more competent left back in the offensive phase. But then Alfonso has always done. Falamendi has always done well in the big games, and I don't really know how Madrid is going to handle the Falamendi exit next season if Alfonso Davies does end up coming. There's also rumors about the fact that Fran Garcia might also be sold, and they might bring in Miguel and keep Miguel and Alfonso Davies as the two left backs. So it's going to be an exciting summer in Madrid, with the potential exit for Nacho as well. Because of all the rumors, maybe Arda Güler goes out on loan. I don't know what they do with Brahim. So it's going to be interesting. And the biggest question for me is, like, what are they going to do with Joselu? Because his loan ends, and we have to make a decision on that end as well.
Man, for me,
unless the Real Madrid is looking.
Go ahead, man.
Yeah, go ahead, Jada.
Oh, okay. Yeah, for me, it's like that's non-negotiable, man. Like we have no striker like Joselu. Like no matter what, even if it takes like 5 million, I'm still okay with that. I think the current price for him is like 1.52 million. If you sign him, that's
Jacob, I don't think the issue is like price. The fact that, like, he's more than 30, right? He's 33 or something. So if you're gonna sign him, you're gonna sign him for 1 year. So it's gonna be 1.5 or whatever it is plus his wages. So that's gonna be his cost, and then you risk losing him the next year without making any money back on him. And then there's also an overload of number of players that we have in attack. Let's assume that Mbappe is coming, just to keep you happy. So it's Mbappe, Rodrigo, Vinicius. Those are three players. Then you kind of have, like, Joselu is the fourth one. You have Arda Güler, you have Brahim. I mean, how many players can you
Endrick as well.
Endrick is also coming. So how many players are you going to keep happy for, like, two positions?
So I mean, you guys told us that Carlo Ancelotti is Jesus. He can literally keep happy the whole Nigeria as a playing squad. Isn't that what you guys are preaching?
Yeah, man.
I mean, Ancelotti is good, but he's not that good. I mean, nobody's that good.
It also depends, right? If it's three attackers that we're gonna line up with next season, then having Rodrigo and
then that creates an issue in the midfield, right? You gotta have Bellingham, Tchouaméni, Camavinga, Fede Valverde. Four of these guys fighting for 3 spots.
Toni Kroos,
if he renews.
Man, you guys are saying like talking like we don't never had injuries. Like half the squad is gonna be missing, even if everyone comes.
Now, Jacob, the thing is, like, if you. Okay, we're gonna have injuries. There's gonna be game time. When it comes to the Classico, who are you gonna pick? The player you don't pick is gonna be like, oh, I'm not getting picked for the big game. So,
To your point. But yeah, man. I would say let's take some comments and then come back and go through the lineups for Valencia and Real Madrid.
Okay.
Yeah, Gaya has been awfully silent, actually.
Yeah. Let's discuss on the ad break with him if
Yeah. I'm still here. I was trying to get my connectivity back.
Okay, perfect. Your voice is actually better now. Not today.
Yeah, no problems.
Great, man. Like we have some comments definitely for you, Gaya, as well. So Ashik first of all says, "Mo, we love you too, but just don't like your mic. You know why? LOL."
Don't like my mic?
Yeah.
Is there a problem with my mic?
No, man, not today, but apparently you know why, so you should know.
Yeah, previously, yes. I don't know that. I went on a rant about 5 minutes for Cruz, and nobody heard anything apart from myself. So. Yeah, myself and Sunet, because for some reason it was like on my OBS I was muted. So.
Oh, okay. 5 minutes, yeah.
Yeah.
What are you ranting about, though? I'm not curious, actually.
No, I was kind of just we were just talking about Cruz and his importance to the team. So not in a bad way. Not in a bad way.
Righty.
I mean, no one can speak bad about Toni Kroos, man. The man is handsome and also he's a fantastic football player.
But you know there were some talks about it yesterday because Cruz said that thank God that the referee got injured. Like I don't know, he was down to gore or something. He said about the referee getting injured or whatever. So everybody was like, some sections were like, oh man, I didn't know Toni Kroos was released. Some people were like, you look at this guy, he's wishing it on other people. So
But actually, I thought if the referee wasn't changed, that Kroos was going to get sent over in the game against Sevilla.
yeah,
But for
I
me,
don't
he
know.
was really animated. I don't know why.
I was actually surprised that we ended with 11 players. I was pretty sure that we were going to lose a player or something because of how the first half went, especially. But keeping that in mind, and especially how the situation is going to be in Valencia, I was kind of happy that it's Gil Manzano who's going to be the referee because, like, for me personally, he's the best referee in Spain. I'm kind of surprised that he doesn't get more Clásicos, but it's kind of understandable because the pressure from Barcelona is always this. Gil Manzano is like more favorable to Madrid than the other guys. So for me, I'm kind of happy that the guy who's refereeing the game against Valencia is like Gil Manzano, especially in Mestalla, because it's going to be a high pressure game. So I hope he manages to keep control of the game and we get on with it.
Actually, for me, I'm fine with the stupid red cards and shit like that. What I'm just worried about is like if the game gets feisty and like tackles start to fly in and
Yeah.
someone
So in that
someone
situation,
gets
I'm
hit.
kind of hoping Gil Manzano can keep control of the game because other referees in Spain, we know that they're not that good.
By the way, how long is Jude out for? Like, when does he come back? The quarterfinals or semis of the Champions League?
Yeah, the hope was for him to return against Valencia, but they're hoping, that he hasn't still rejoined the group training. So I think they're hoping he'll be back for Leipzig.
Oh, that's perfect then. Okay, cool.
Yeah, man, there's even like reports saying maybe if he joins training session, the group training tomorrow, then he could potentially be on the bench as well for, let's say.
Yeah, that's good news. That's good news at least.
Yeah, Ashik also says, I guess when we introduce Gaya, so he says, that's okay, Gaya, we respect, we love you, but no mercy this weekend. Yeah, man.
I think Madrid will be begging Valencia for Messi, not that way around. Yeah. The other way around.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, we were missing this fire, for the last 15 minutes. But yeah, man, good to know that your internet is better. Meta TV says, Vinny will dunk on you in Mestalla Saturday night. We won't forget what happened last time.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Ah.
what happened last time.
Yeah, man, but realistically, Gaya, do you actually feel that Vinny is going to be restricted once again? Do you think...
Farouk mentioned something earlier. He said he gave like a probability saying if Vinicius was mature enough, if he has that level of maturity and to look beyond the jeers, the crowd booing him and all of that, then he'll be in a better place generally throughout for Madrid and all of that. I feel Vinicius hasn't attained that level of maturity yet. He lets things get into his skin. So definitely the fans are going to be on his case from the first minute. Is they're going to derail his focus. He's not going to be focused. Yeah, I'm 100% sure of that. He's not going to be focused. It's unfortunate what has led to the old jeering and booing and all of that. But yeah, this is what it is, and I'm 100% sure his mind is going to be on different things on that particular day. And yeah, Thierry Correa is back. If he does start, yeah, I feel like yeah, he can go better with Vinicius.
I don't know about that, man. Like, I'm just gonna read this comment out and add my own thoughts. So Ashik says, these players are professionals. They are focused on the game. Sports media has a slow day and they are hyping it up to add drama to the game. It's like promoting boxing or a UFC bout almost. Yeah, I agree with this. And on top of that, like personally, I felt like when the stakes are actually like very high, like we can't slip up at this point in the season, especially when La Liga is like kind of within our grasp, asked to lose. So I feel like Vinny in these situations, he's much more mature and he's not got, even if the crowd like really gets at him, I feel like he can handle it. Ashik also says, Gaya, I think your router is from the Mestalla. You gotta get one from the Bernabeu. They always come back to life.
No worry, I've fixed my issues here.
Yeah, man, it's almost back to life. So yeah, Ashik says Alfonso isn't consistent, so he may end up being a hit if he can handle the pressure when things go south. Otherwise, this may be bad for his career. I don't know, man. Like, I'll come to you, Farouk. Like, what's your like take on how the Alfonso transfer will go if it happens, especially in terms of his injury situation and whatnot?
Yeah, I think that's the issue, with the injury situation and what is not. So, like, we just have to hope that, like, he can keep fit and, remain focused. But what I would say is, like, Alfonso Davies has performed, at the highest level, in Champions League finals and shit like that. He's come to the fore, and, like, I kind of feel like, yeah, maybe there's, a bit of inconsistency there, but let's not forget that also he is young, and also the instability at Bayern Munich over the last 18 months has also not, been too good for him, because let's not even forget that before even, the Tuchel and the Nagelsmann team. Before that, it was also the what was the name? Kovac, and Kovac as also, like, it's just been turmoil upon turmoil upon turmoil at Bayern Munich. So I think that's not good for him as well. Like, yeah, I mean, a lot of people at Bayern Munich, what I read is that they always complain the fact that he hasn't taken that next step yet. But I kind of feel like the platform to take that next step has not been available yet, when you keep changing coaches and you keep changing tactics here and there. So I kind of feel like there is that, but honestly, like, considering what we have right now is Ferland Mendy and Fran Garcia, I would take my bet on Alfonso Davies all day long, man.
Wow. I don't know about Ferland Mendy. I feel like we should actually maybe consider selling Fran Garcia, but even if we keep Ferland Mendy and Alfonso Davies, I'll be the happiest man, because we can absolutely get some tactical flexibility that way. If we have both attacking players like let's say Gutierrez and Alfonso Davies both, it's going to be a nightmare when it comes to situations where we actually need to defend.
I mean, I don't think it's, I actually don't look at it in that perspective. I think, like, Ferland Mendy for a good 30, 40, 50 million, I don't know what the range will be like, but the range between 30, 50, I think it's good money, honestly. It's money that you can reinvest and stuff like that. And I think if you can bring back Miguel Gutierrez, I think he gives you a different, alternative to what, Alfonso gives you. And I think it's just up to the coaching staff to do that. I mean, come on, like, it's not like we have been playing with, I don't know, Michael Asian as a fullback since the beginning of time, and like we've played with Martial and Carvalho at the same time, and they were both flying. It's just up to the team to have a compact way of defending. Like, you have to defend as a team. It's not just anyone's individual responsibility to how many times have we seen Rafa Varane run over, or Sergio Ramos run over to cover the space that has been left by the fullback. So I think that's just a thing. Like, fullbacks are really integral to the way you play. Honestly, especially right now that we're like in total creativity from. I mean, okay, yeah, Carvalho this season has stepped up a lot, and you can see how much impact that has been. If only we could get a bit of that sort of impact in the attacking half from also from I don't know, wherever it is that was playing, but it's just something that doesn't exist. That's why we always call for Kamavinga to start as a fullback. So I kind of feel like Mendy, I think he's good on the market. Like, I think he's going to be someone that Premier League fans are going to love, because they just love athleticism and technicality. So I feel like that's fair.
Mohawk,
I mean, come on, why are you
speak your
laughing?
mind,
Like,
Mo.
am I
Like,
lying?
why
Come
is
on,
why is smiling?
he like completely, like, it's like he completely took Ferland Mendy and reduced him to garbage, the way he said. The Premier League fans love athleticity and no technique, so I don't know.
Anyways, we'll see when it actually happens, man. When we have to worry about it. Personally, for me, like, I don't think Mendy should leave, even if we get 30, 50 million.
I'll tell you something funny, okay? When Ferland Mendy was at Lyon, people were more happy about his offensive contribution than his defensive contribution. So when he comes to Madrid and everybody sees that this guy's good defensively but worse offensively, everybody was shocked, and it was like, man, this guy used to be totally different at Lyon. So I mean, maybe he's not completely garbage defense, technique wise. Maybe there's something that Premier League fans get to see.
Can be actually, one thing maybe that worked maybe against his offensive ability was that, if you guys remember, like, when he first came, it was that season where Zidane was like, okay, yeah, we have to just win 1-0, 1-0, and that's just it. there was that defensive stability that was something that I actually never could have related to a Zidane team before, and actually that's when my respect for him as a coach increased because he showed like he could be something else. Like that season we were just basically like Mourinho's Chelsea, like just score one goal and you close the market, and that was it. I think maybe that was why Mendy as well had to adapt to that role as well. Could be.
Would be indeed. All right, let's go for the ad break. We're going to hear from Doris. When we're back, we're going to go through the lineups with Gaya and the lineups as well.
Hola Madridistas, I'm back once again to remind you guys that we're partnered up with Manscaped, and if you want to help and support this project and this little family of ours, be sure to check out Manscaped and use code LBR20 at checkout for 20% off and free shipping. So 2024 is in full swing. We're already a month in, and if you had any New Year's resolutions to look better, feel better, I have a company called Manscaped. They're trusted by more than 10 million men worldwide, and if you want to take a positive step, in a good direction this year, start with yourself. And Manscaped asked us to introduce you guys to the new lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. It's a hair trimmer, for your sensitive bits. It features skin safe technology, to keep your sensitive bits safe. It has an LED bright, it's waterproof, you can use it in the shower. You get 2 extra heads, blade heads, to go either full smooth or an normal blade head. If you want to go all in, you can get the whole package. You get a nose trimmer, you get crop preserver, it's a ball deodorant, you get some aftershave, and in the box you also get some boxers and a bag, to keep all of those things in. So yeah, if you're interested, go to manscaped.com, use code LBR20 to get 20% off at checkout and free shipping. That's LBR20 to get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. And thank you guys, and back to the video.
Oh, I hope they did not hear me calling Nigerians what I just called them. I mean, let them not revoke my citizenship without me not being.
Yeah. You were all good. You were muted, so no slander was gone live.
All right.
But man, before we talk about slander, going from a Doris ad break, there's some good news for Farouk. Apparently, Shakira wants to perform in Madrid on her next tour. So at the Bernabeu, you're gonna get Shakira. I'm sure Farouk is not gonna buy tickets for the
The important question is Piqué gonna be in the crowd?
I mean, Piqué is definitely gonna run away from Spain, but Shakira is in Spain, so.
Yeah, anyways.
You guys do know that Shakira used to be a Madrid fan, right?
What?
Oh, really? I never knew.
When was that?
Yeah, she used to be a Madrid fan before she married Piqué.
Oh, wow.
Like there were even videos of her after she married Piqué. There was a Madrid scored a goal and she was almost about to celebrate and then checked herself when she realized, she's married to Piqué. I mean, she's never married to Piqué, but yeah.
Oh, wow. Ashik says we don't want Shakira at the Bernabeu, even if her hips don't lie. Man, if she's a Madrid fan, let her go, man. Maybe it's her dream to perform there.
Yeah, I think it's from El Confidencial. Like it broke 2 hours ago, so it's I mean, it's a good thing. I mean, Taylor Swift is performing. We raise a lot of money, so
yeah, exactly. That's the thing. It's stuff, and I don't know, man. Like Taylor Swift, has I don't know. It's the hype right now, Like they were selling the tickets for Taylor Swift at to the San Siro actually, and in one it was 2 days. I think it's in June or something. I can't remember. Anyways, it was 2 days tour. And in I think 2 hours the tickets were out, and they had to announce the 3rd day.
Yeah, that's a Taylor Swift phenomenon. The tickets per concert incredibly rare. I remember in India they she's never gone to India. I think maybe I'm wrong, but there are movie theaters that will play videos of her concert. So it's like a movie. You go buy a ticket and then you sit and watch Taylor Swift performing in a concert in a movie theater. So that's the level of craziness that is there for her. And I mean, I talked about this before as well. The post announcing Taylor Swift performing with in the Bernabeu from Madrid, and it kind of got like 4 million, 5 million views, and in that same period on her Twitter, it kind of went to 80 million, 100 million views. So I mean, there's a difference to these
There's
like
levels to
Taylor
this
Swift.
game, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, now.
Crap, man. Is it Gen Z people or are they the millennials
I
that
think
actually
I think
like,
Taylor Swift she's been popular for like what 10, 15 years now.
yeah, but bro, like not this level of popular, man.
No, I mean she's always been this level of popular. That's the thing, right?
Yeah.
She's a
I
British.
don't think so, man. I mean, I know she is, but like, I mean, at this time, like anywhere you turn, it's like Taylor Swift. Everything is literally Taylor Swift, man. Once upon a time, we used to have varieties, man.
Variety like what Akon.
That's a name I
I'm
haven't
not
heard in a
that old,
long,
bro.
long
I
time,
mean, I'm
man.
not that
Fuck.
old. You're the one. We should say Akon and Michael Jackson to you more. Like, I'm not that old, bro.
You said you're not that old, and then you said you stuff like Michael Jackson. Come on, man. I mean MJ, like Michael Jackson is older than Akon.
That's why I said to you. Like, we should say to you, Michael Jackson and Akon in disguise.
Right, guys. Let's get back on the topic, but yeah, man, I'm excited for both concerts. So yeah, man, Gaya, walk us through the Valencia lineup, man. What do you think is going to be the lineup?
Okay, first time this season, I think Barra has a full squad available to him. Thierry Correa is back from injury. Andre Almeida is also into future for the first time since in the squad for the first time since September. But yeah, basically, what has really starting book in the undisputable. Dimitri Fouquet will definitely get a nod, except anything comes up and maybe Terry Correa is 100% fit, probably gets a start as he has a speed advantage and will probably be able to keep Vinicius at bay. Kabi back from AFCON is going to start. Christian Mosquera, permission to call him a Wonder Kid. Wonder Kid Christian Mosquera is also going alongside the Akabi. Then Gaya as left back. In midfield, I don't know if Barra is going to do some tweaking, but we should expect Ugo Gulaimon and Pepelu to start as a double pivot. Sergi Canos is fit. Sergi Canos might start as left winger or should start as left winger. Fran Perez or Diego Lopez. Diego Lopez has a face injury, so he's currently on the mask. I think it was meant to be fit for the last game against Granada, which was postponed. But yeah, he should be fit for Madrid. So there's a decision to be made whether to play Fran Perez or Diego Lopez. Then Ugo Duru is going to start undisputed. I think he's on 9 goals this season, or maybe he's on double figures already. Where that's his best league tally. Yaremchuk or Selim Amala, or maybe Avi Guerra to start alongside him. Yeah, so like there's 3 decisions made. Who is going to start alongside Ugo Duru as a supporting striker? Probably Yaremchuk because he's now on form. Selim Amala just go back from the AFCON, so he's being eased into the team. I think he did start against Las Palmas though. Avi Guerra, as he hasn't had the best of form, but then he's a big game player, I think. Against Atletico Madrid, we saw what he could do. And he has performed in like big games and Mestalla basically. So he's a big game player. So I think Barra might want to play him. But then we're going to start out in a 4-4-2, in a clear 4-4-2. So yeah, that's my prediction for the lineup.
I just want to ask about Yaremchuk. Is he like a discount Dovbik or is he more of a Siganko? Is he more mobile?
I'll say it's kind of like a Dovbik player, a Dovbik profile, but then he's mobile. He gets into positions a lot. Anytime he plays alongside the Gudru, he probably gets more of the shots. He gets more chances. But yeah, he doesn't play as much as Gudru because Gudru is the undisputed player. Aerially is the perfect player. Crosses from Gaya to Yaremchuk. He gets the chances. He scores goals in games where Valencia are basically dominating and like have a flurry of chances from the counter and all of that. Yeah, so he's mobile, but then he has a like target man type of profile in him.
Right. Yeah, man. Anyways, it's always a good idea to start former Real Madrid players. I'll tell you a funny stat. It's like half of the goals conceded by Real Madrid in La Liga this season have been scored by former Real Madrid players.
Yeah. And Guduro's first season against this thing at Valencia, he scored in the first game against Mestalla. No, Valencia Madrid won 2-1. So yeah, I'm banking on this scoring a goal this season on Saturday.
Right? Yeah,
I think Jacob, every player who's scored against Madrid this season has come from the Castilla, like from Fabrica, not exactly Castilla. But I think all of them have played at Fabrica as well. So not just ex-Madrid players, but ex-Fabrica players. And Hugo Duro played a season at Fabrica. So
it's gonna be peak,
we've
man.
already started 1 goal down.
1 goal down, yeah. Oh man, man, Farouk, since you're back, I feel like we haven't had this discussion for a long, long time. You can kick things off at the goalkeeper position, man. Who do you want to see start?
I mean, thank God at least there's a bit of consistency now based on what I've seen across the past games. And I think, yeah, Lunin continues with that consistency, They should not be that, back and forth. Yeah, I said, like, either I'm a changed man or like Lunin actually was better against in the game against Sevilla. Like, I felt like it was different from the Lunin I left. The Lunin I saw at the weekend was better. So, yeah, I think that's the thing. Like, that's what consistency does to you as well. I think so. Like, the more you play, the more you get, you get confident and you come into your game and stuff like that. So, I think yeah, Lunin should just carry on as from where he stopped.
Absolutely. And for defense, I know Carvajal is back. Camavinga is back as well, back from suspension. Or is Carvajal serving like a two-day ban? He's back, right?
I think he's supposed to be back.
Yeah.
I think it was just a 1 game one, so he should be back.
Yeah, so he's back. So I guess that eases some of the worry that we have been having at right back. It's going to be Carvajal, Rudiger, Nacho, and Mendy again. Or do you see
Yeah, for me it's Mendy.
do you see a rare
The
start
only
for Fred?
thing, no, I think the only question in defense I might be if Ancelotti decides to start Tchouaméni instead of Nacho. But apart from that, I think it's going to be pretty much that, Carvajal, Rudiger, whoever starts a center back in Mendy.
Farouk, do you think you've seen Tchouaméni in defense, right? Like, do you think he actually warrants a start over Nacho?
I don't know, like, has Nacho been that terrible? I honestly don't know, but I feel like the thing also is there, like, every time Real Madrid's needed something, like Nacho is the first person to go off and stuff like that. So I don't know what his form has been like, but I feel like it's safe to, continue with that consistency of, having the center back as, a center back. And if things don't go away, then, you just can pull him off and, have the ability to change stuff, Because I feel like, Tchouaméni's presence in the midfield is, it's quite a controlling presence. So I wouldn't want to lose that, and put him down, into a defensive role. So I think if things don't go well, then, Carlo can repeat the trick that he has, done over past games and just, take off Nacho, push Tchouaméni down, and then, Cruz and whoever it is can, be the holding role.
Yeah, man. I feel like that's gonna be our trump card for the second half of the season. Just have an extra midfielder there. Bring on Camavinga for Tchouaméni, and we have a really dynamic attacking team when we actually need a goal.
Oh, really? I thought, Joselo was going to be our trump.
Joselo? Oh man, but more like, do you have any news on Joselo? Like, is he gonna be back soon?
I think they said like 2 to 3 weeks, right? So for Valencia game is like completely ruled out. So
Okay. So he's going to be back March then, I guess. Maybe after the international break, because March, like after the second week of March, it's the international break as well.
Exactly.
It remains to be seen. So for Valencia, he's definitely not going to be back. We'll see after that when he's, we'll see. We'll read the news and we'll know after that.
All right. That's it, man. Take it away, man. Like, what do you think the midfield is gonna be?
Yeah, man. Midfield is definitely going to be Fede, Cruz, like Tchouaméni if he doesn't start in the defense, and Brahim. Towards we don't really have options apart from that. It's going to be Vinicius and Rodrigo starting once again. Joselu is missing, Bellingham is missing. I don't really see Articular, suddenly forcing his way into the starting lineup. So yeah, that's basically what we expect.
Yeah. So no Luka Modric
No
here.
Dani Ceballos.
Man, it's tough for me to see Luka Modric start.
Farouk even said Ceballos. Wow. Okay.
I mean, yeah, I think Luka as well. I agree with you on this. I don't see Luka starting as well, but you never can tell. Like it might be a curveball with Brahim being replaced by Luka, but I think that most likely wouldn't happen, honestly. But yeah, I mean, Arda Güler is also another name you want to throw into the hat as well. Just never can tell.
Yeah, man. Like the thing that annoyed me in the last game was like, why did Ceballos have to come on? Like, I think Arda Güler might have been happy with like 5 minutes like on his birthday, but why did Ceballos have to come on? Like, do you actually think he provides more intensity than Arda Güler?
I mean, he's
I think
physically more like imposing than Arda Güler at this point in time, and I think defensively you need a certain amount of experience, and Sabas does provide that.
exactly. That's just. Well, I just kind of feel like there wasn't too much there. I feel like you could have just let the kid just come on and just forget about it. But yeah, it is what it is.
Farid is Ancelotti, he just doesn't let the kids come on just for making them happy. He's kind of like you. He doesn't care about the age. All he wants is performances.
Of course. I mean, that's what we do, man. Like, you don't have to get sentiment in business, man. Otherwise, you're gonna crash and find yourself in the fourth or fifth division when you have to be ruthless, man.
Ruthless, yeah.
I mean, I should actually get a big photo of like Florentino Perez and put it behind me, yeah. I mean, that's just what business is, bro. Like, we do not do sentiment. Say you do the job. Once you're done, man. I mean, the relationship lasts as long as you're useful, man. After that, I mean, sorry, bye. See you next time.
Guys, can we actually make that happen? Farooq will pull together, man. We'll get you the biggest portrait we can find of Fiorentino.
Or we could do this. We could take a portrait of Farooq and we could take a portrait of Florentino and we can merge them both. Half Florentino, half Farooq.
Oh God! Actually, that's not a bad idea. Okay, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. Ashik actually weighed in with his lineup as well. He says, Farooq, if you say Kepa should start, then I'm going to start supporting Barcelona. We can't be supporting the same team, lol.
Fortunately, I didn't say that. I mean, come on, Ashik, we have to be supporting the same team, man. You cannot be supporting, people that live in certain cities, man.
Yeah. And his chosen front three is Vinny, Rodrigo, and Brahim. He says Tony will start in midfield and Tchouaméni as well. But he brings up an interesting point. He says it could be a toss-up between Fede and Camavinga. Do you actually think Fede could get some rest for Valencia and, we could actually start Camavinga?
On my end, no chance. Fede starting.
Non-negotiable, yeah. He rests when
Fede
there's
is
like...
non-negotiable.
honestly.
Man, when will Fede get any rest then? Like, we cannot take him until like 80th or 85th minute at least.
As Farooq would say, when he falls dead.
If he's there, why is he sitting on the bench?
Yep.
Well, yeah, I mean, jokes apart, like I get the point. Honestly, like but because also like we have the game against Leipzig as well. But I don't know, it's at the Bernabeu. Maybe you kind of feel a bit more comfortable about that. But let's not forget as well, Ajax came and did the whole bullshit at the Bernabeu as well. But anyways, the game at the Mestalla also carries, as we mentioned before, like even forget about the whole Vinicius thing. It's always been a very, very tricky fixture for Real Madrid. So I think like we need, all hands on deck to this game. And yeah, I mean, I also agree that a bit more there. It's fair there, man. It's fair there.
Yeah, especially away at the Mestalla. It's not going to be easy. We will need Fede supporting Carvajal at all.
Do you guys see a midfield though without Brahim and like it's like Fede and it's Tchouaméni and it's Cruz and it's Camavinga?
Who is going to play in like the forward role? Cruz?
Fede maybe.
Fede.
Fede maybe.
Yeah. But then you lose out on the defensive protection that it brings, especially for Carvajal.
No, but you still have like both Camavinga and Tchouaméni. Like I feel like both of them combined can maybe do what Fede does.
I mean, I was going to ask a question.
Go ahead, man.
I was going to ask a question in regards to Brahim Diaz. Yeah, currently he's on good form. Yeah, but when Bellingham comes back from injury, what do you think Carlo Ancelotti should do? Should he bench him entirely for Bellingham? Because I know Bellingham is undroppable and most times he plays 90 minutes experience when he's very fit. So what do you think the future holds after that for Brahim Diaz and what exactly are your thoughts about his performances right now?
I think his short-term future is definitely on the bench. He's going to come on whenever we need to give our players a bit of rest, or when we need to change things, or when we need to add an attacker extra to the attack when we need a goal. Over his long-term stuff, man, I think Mo or Farouk should handle it. I have no idea. I mean, because I don't know
I mean,
Brahim personally, right? Like, I feel like he could be potentially happy with like a bench role, but I'm not too sure.
yeah, Jacob, I have his number and we do chat on WhatsApp. That's
Yeah.
I know.
Jacob, I'll just say this: there's no player in the world who became a professional player who would be happy sitting on the bench. So, for me personally, I mean, right now I'm just enjoying Brahim. We'll see what happens for the future this summer. But for now, I'm kind of happy with his performance. And just to answer like Guy's question, yeah, definitely. If when Bellingham comes back fit, he's obviously starting. There have been some calls to drop Rodrigo for Brahim, but I don't really see that happening as well. So
Yeah,
for me, Brahim,
Ashik is the
like
one
Farouk
making
said,
those calls. He's in the comments saying, when Bellingham comes back, I'd bench Rodrigo and start Brahim. Sorry,
no man,
Sumay.
you can't bench. Like for me personally, I wouldn't bench Rodrigo.
Yeah, let's talk a bit, maybe a few minutes about Rodrigo, man. Like, do you think his form is actually worrying? It's been a while since he's scored or looked clinical at all.
I mean, it's a little bit worrying because of you obviously said that there have been some chances we could have done better, but then we talked about this. The thing is like Real Madrid is playing to get Vinicius into goal scoring positions. Apart from that, Bellingham has been the one who's been making the deep runs and making things happen. Rodrigo has been shoehorned into a role where he's becoming more of a facilitator for these guys than being the primary striker. And when situation like these happens, when you're like more focused on creating for other players, you kind of tend to lose your let's say your killer-mindedness in the box. You don't really have the decisiveness. We saw this happen with Benzema when he was busy facilitating for Cristiano. There were some misses where you would completely pull your hair out, but we always knew that Benzema had a lot of potential, and once Cristiano went, he suddenly changed his game. So for me, we also saw this with Rodrigo during October, November, when he kind of went into form and was scoring so many goals and was carrying Real Madrid. So for me personally, I'm not worried because I think Rodrigo brings a lot to the team. Especially combining with uh, Bellingham and Vinicius, and he also drops deep and does a lot of defensive work. So for me, what he brings to the team is like intangibles, and you really can't discount that. So I would always start Rodrigo or Brahim.
Yeah, definitely. I actually, can understand, the the short-termism, or I don't know, revisionist theory, as they call it, or whatever it is. But I just feel like, uh, unfortunately, there are certain players who just, in the history of Real Madrid, are always going to be, supporting casts, and I think Brahim is just one of them. He's never going to be a main actor. I think, at least considering what we have right now and what might happen in the summer as well. So I just don't see, Brahim holding it down, honestly. And as Mo said, like you cannot fault, Rodrigo for the lack of trying. Honestly, I feel like the change in shape constantly, like and as more rightly pointed, there was a stretch where like Vini was out, and like we saw the best of Rodrigo as well, and then there was a point where at the beginning of the season they were trying to figure out how to play with Jude, and then they figured that out, and then these guys got injured, and then they came back. Like the system has constantly been changed, and when you look at it, like both Vini and Jude actually have always remained constant. The person whose role has always been changed almost, on a weekly or a bi-weekly basis has been Rodrigo. So I think it's kind of unfair, to keep asking him, like, to keep changing the role and keep, being the facilitator and also the finisher as well. I think that's something that, I you select one of the two. So I think that's just the thing, like with Rodrigo, honestly, I feel like, and also he has, this tendency for the excitement as well. And I do definitely think that, I'd rather keep, Rodrigo on the pitch, because I know that there's a high chance, that he has a higher chance of impacting the game than Brahim, in my opinion. His ceiling is much more higher. So yeah, I think it's Rodrigo every day of the week.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, man. Let's kind of wrap this up and go for the predictions. Let's start with you, Gaya, man. What do you think the scoreline is going to be?
A 1-0 in favor of Valencia, straight up.
Is Hugo Toro the one scoring the goal? Obviously.
Valencia wins 1-0. Definitely. Hugo is one scoring goal. Definitely. No doubt about that. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0. 1-0
Yeah, man. Farooq, how about you, man? Like, do you think Valencia can keep a clean sheet against this version of Vinicius? I know he's gonna be fired up, ready to make an impact.
Yeah, I don't. I just don't see any universe that exists. Like I mean, we are living in different galaxies with Gaia. Like he's somewhere else, and where he lives, like uh, Valencia has a bit of clout and stuff like that. But yeah, in the real world, man, like Valencia is just. I mean, with all due respect, like yeah, we're not even in the same stuff. I see a 2-0 victory, man, but I think it's gonna be a very very harsh game. Not maybe not the best to watch, but because obviously I also don't see Vini, at his best. So honestly, but I do think he's gonna get in the goals, but like not at his free flowing best. But I do think it's a Real Madrid victory, a 2-0 victory, clean sheet for Lunin as well.
Clean sheet for Lune. Nice. Mo, you wanna go?
For me personally, I think it's going to be a tricky game because it's Mestalla. We're missing Bellingham and everything, and with the form we've shown in like the past two games, dealing with the opponents. For me personally, I think it's going to be a draw, maybe a scoring draw, 1-1 or 2-2. 1-1 may be more likely, but yeah, that's what I'm expecting.
Well, man, negative. But yeah, I understand that sentiment. For me, I'm gonna predict a 2-1. I feel like it's been a while since we conceded a goal, and I think it's for some reason it's just gonna happen in this game. And I see a red card also on the cards. Hopefully, it's not for Cruz or someone. Maybe it's probably for I don't know who.
Vinicius, man. Definitely Vinicius.
I don't know. Maybe.
If there's one player I would put down for getting a red card at Mestalla, is going to be Vinny.
Could be, man. Or signs to point to that. Ashik
for
says,
all the right reasons.
Yeah. Ashik says it's going to be 4-1 to Real Madrid. Nacho's going to be the one scoring for them, and it's going to be a Vinicius hat-trick.
Oh, so we shifted from a Joselu hat-trick to Vini hat-trick. Oh, actually, Joselu is not fit
Yeah.
to be again, right?
Otherwise, what do you think, man?
I mean,
If Joselu was
if
fit.
it's 4-1, I'll be like jumping with you. I'll be that happy. This game for me, like incredibly tricky for Madrid.
Yeah. It's definitely going to be close. It's not going to be the 5-1, yeah, for sure.
I don't know. Maybe
Yeah,
we
but-
sign Haaland for a game. He might score like 5 goals in 5 minutes or something.
Yeah, man, what a performance. But did you actually see that? Like, that was totally funny to me, to everyone as well. Pep was still like animated on the touchline, instructing his players. Wasn't happy with something, even at 6-2 or 5-1.
For me personally, I would say this. Farouk described the fact that Premier League fans love players who have a lot of physicality and no technique. I don't really count myself into that, so I don't really pay much attention to what happens in the Premier League. So I have to kind of apologize. I don't really watch the game.
Was just casually insulting the fans of English football, man. Come on, sure.
I mean, you did it for me. I just quoted you. Farouk is a great man,
No,
so
no,
I have to quote him.
No. I mean, I'm not saying like physicality and no technicality is bad. I'm just saying like this is what it is. As fans of total football, so
Yeah, I know. I agree. I kind of like. I just want to clarify. I don't really think that Premier League is just physicality and nothing else. Before people start, before what happened after the City game starts happening again with people trying to follow us and sending us messages and everything. So,
But come on, I mean, if Liverpool was, Liverpool won the UCL as well. But come on, like what they had with the whole Henderson Wijnaldum thing. Like, I mean, come on, like with all due respect, like a player like Henderson should not be playing at the top level, in my modest opinion. Honestly, a player like Henderson should not be playing at the top level. He was nothing more than an athlete. That's just the thing.
yeah, I mean,
both will need how to kick the ball.
I do get that sentiment, but personally, like, yeah, I mean, we kind of have to give it to the English game, especially Pep, because once he's gone there, he's kind of revolutionized with how City play, and I think a lot of people have kind of started following that, with Arteta at Arsenal, and maybe not exactly Pep, but he's kind of, Arsenal are always known for playing good football before, Suned gets angry with me. Yeah, so, yeah, I mean, Arteta has done well bringing that style, and so a lot of smaller teams as well. I think Brighton and the De Zerbi also, like, are more possession-oriented, so there have been some changes, especially with the technical level of the game. So, I mean, Premier League is a good league, man. But, Real Madrid, the league Real Madrid plays is always better.
Heck yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, guys, Ashik asks, if it's 4-1, then what do I get? He's asking for a Nigerian jersey, JJ Okocha jersey, but then I would say, like, for Ashik, what would you say to a signed poster of,
Farouk.
Farouk as the Real Madrid president?
Or maybe Farouk Tino Perez.
I mean, if you want a JJ coach jersey, man, like, I mean, we have Gaya here on board, like, if Gaya, but then, I mean, Gaya loses 4-1 and we ask him to give a JJ coach jersey. I think that's too much. I don't know. What do you think, Gaya?
I definitely wouldn't be a party to that, yeah. After losing 4-1. No.
I can understand. I can understand the sentiment. But okay, actually, we can do this, as Moa's pointed, we can do like Fantino Perez, I can sign something to you huge like this, sign my image and just ship it to you. I think maybe in 3, 4, 5 years, that's going to be something that's going to worth a lot of money, So you might just keep that. I don't know if that works fine for you as well.
Yeah. He says Farouk Tino Perez is fine. Farouk Tino Perez handing a jersey to Ashik Sander the Great. Wow.
Oh, that was a good one.
Oh man.
God, I miss this shit, man. It's nice to be back, honestly. It's nice to be back, man. Ashik is the OG, man. That was a good one. Ashik Tino the Great. See? That's Ashik Sander the Great, rather, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great one. Okay, Ashik, it's a done deal then. We're shaking hands virtually on this.
Nice, man. Yeah. Let's hope for a 4-1. But yeah, man. Gaya, it's been a pleasure having you. I know we had our issues with the router, but you fixed it. You came back to life. Hopefully you don't have a comeback against Real Madrid.
There's no need for a comeback. It's very straight out win. Don't worry, my brother. It's my pleasure. I'm honored to be here too.
Yeah. All right, and also thank you all of you guys for being in the comments. Ashik, Madrid TV, and all of you guys still watching. Thanks for tuning in. Do check out our sponsors, Manscaped. Like, could be the last chance to actually buy something with our code from them. Last but not the least, I'd like to shout out our partners over at Real Madrid Committee. They do an awesome job and have an excellent Instagram page there, so check them out. And all of your audio platform listeners, man, do leave more reviews. Let us know what you think. Tell us how we can improve the podcast. So yeah, and you know what to say, guys. Let's go. Hala Madrid.
Hala Farouk Tino, yeah. Hala Farouk Tino.
Amunt Valencia.